Okay, so today we're diving in Port Jeff Harbor, and this is right at the end of Anchorage Road in McAllister Park in Belterre. And I was always hesitant about diving here because any videos I've ever seen or things I've read on it, there's not really anything here. But I got to be honest with you, I think this is a very underrated place to dive, and as we go through, I'll explain why. Visibility was really good today. It's getting cold, so not much floating around for organic matter. So I start by diving straight off the beach towards the pilings that you see of the old pier. This is pretty cool because this was really put together in the 1890s, and here you can see me pull a sinker and some fishing line out, get rid of that. And so once you get out to the pier, the first piling there was a retaining wall that ran to the south, and it's about 300 feet long, and that's what you see me going along here. I have a lot of video footage, so I had to really kind of cut it down. But this retaining wall is pretty cool. If you're on the side where I'm at, just over the wall, you're in about 13 feet of water. And if you come back on top of the wall, it's about between 8 and 10 feet of water. There's so much vegetation and marine life on here. I don't have it on video, but there's fish like horned blennies. Very colorful. It's pretty cool. This retaining wall is so long that if you just stay along it and go all the way to the end, and there's nooks and crannies everywhere. There's like crabs and little fish hiding everywhere. And this is late in the season, so there really shouldn't be much around. But it's a pretty cool little spot. The bottom is sand, but with like a little bit of silt. If you come back over the wall, you're back into like steady sand on top of the wall. So that would be to the east of the wall. Right now I'm to the west of the wall, and we're heading south. It's really cool. You could probably spend a whole dive just doing this wall in the summer, looking for fish and all sorts of cool stuff. I found a lot of fishing hooks and lures, so it's got to be a good fishing spot. Here I got a big whelk snail, and it looks like he's eating something there. So we put him back, and then right next to it I find another sinker and line. So we get rid of all the fishing line and all the lead, take that out of the water. So right now I'm on top of the wall, and I'm heading back north. So like this dive site can kind of be split up into 3 sections. You got this retaining wall that used to be a huge dock. This whole area used to be a wharf. In the 1890s they made like a shipping wharf, and there was a big long pier. You can still see the pilings for that. This is all submerged, and this was like, here you see me find a golf ball. We take that too. This was actually like a big wide open deck that went, the beach actually came all the way out to this point, and I guess through erosion or whatever, it's all underwater now. So that's what all this structure is. You're seeing all of what was the facade of the actual retaining wall and decking material and stuff. So there's all these nooks and crannies and stuff for fish to and marine life to grow on, and it's pretty cool. This area, it's really long. I was surprised how long it was. Here's another sinker and some fishing line and hooks, and we take that out. I put it in my bag, my catch bag. So we're heading north, and we're heading back towards those pilings that the main pier came off the beach was. And I started doing research when I came back to try to figure out what it used to look like. So I used some different websites to figure out old images, and there was actually two piers. This was the main long one. Just to the north of this, where the rock pile is at the end of Anchorage Road, there was another pier coming off. So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to look at that when I go back here. So right now we're heading north, and now I'm north of the pilings and north of the pier. I really didn't spend much time in the pilings because I was finding all this other stuff. So this is actually coming up to that rock pile, but this is an old rock pile that was under, you know, that the beach used to come out to here, but now that this kind of drifted apart, and then you have that new rock pile that you can see at the end of Anchorage Road, really kind of dead at the end. So it's cool. There's all boulders and all this place for marine life to grow, and it's like teeming with life down here. There's all sorts of stuff growing on here. And I'm messing with a new camera mount, so I have it on my head. I'm not sure if I like it because my head moves a lot when I'm underwater, so I might like it better on the handheld. But you got all these huge boulders, and you see me pick. There's metal in my hand. I'm picking up junk as I go along. So now we're just doing this, and we haven't even touched the pier side yet because that could probably be a whole dive in itself. And because all this goes back so far, we're not even into Pirates Cove. We're just at the end of Anchorage Road. The bottom here is still sandy. You could see like it's a little like crisp, like broken up shelly sand. But the further you get away from the beach, so you get into like, I want to say like 15 feet of water, it turns into silty mud. Now, if you have good buoyancy control and you stay above it, nice horizontal trim, no scissor kicks, you're gonna have a perfectly clear dive. If you're the type of diver that, you know, you're kind of bouncing off the bottom and you're gonna kick up silt, and it's gonna get messy quick. But if you can hover, like right here, this is a bottle. This is all silt. You can see the silt coming off the bottle, but I'm not touching the ground. I just reached down, I grabbed it, and there's no need to kick any of that up. I'm not scissor kicking. I'm using frog kicks, so none of the thrust from my kicking is directed towards the ground, and my feet are vertical. So here's another bottle. There's bottles all over down here, and that first bottle, when I looked it up, that company went out of business in 1940, so it's pre-1940. Fidelio Brewing Company, I believe it was. So I heard you could always find bottles down here, so that was pretty cool to kind of confirm that. And I'm not even in a spot where they should really be, because I'm pretty far. I'm to the north of that main pier. So I would think that if I got closer to a little south, closer to the fishing the wharf pier, and maybe came off the end of it and went out a little bit, I'd find even more bottles. But that's not where I'm at. I'm to the north of it. So these bottles are modern. These are recent. So we take them and we get rid of them. Funny story, one of the bottles actually had a horn blenny in it when I got home, so I had to bring that back and release it. And he lived. Here is a big lobster pot that's held open, so it's not killing anything, but might go in there and pull that out next time I dive this spot, because I'm going to definitely go back. I think it's underrated. It's super clear. There's all sorts of stuff to see, and I like finding stuff, so I might poke around further off and start digging around. So you can see here when I dig around in the mud how silty that is. It kicks right up. So you could tell I've been paying pretty good attention of hovering, otherwise we wouldn't see anything right now. So right now I got a pretty good hover going on, and I'm kind of getting bored, so I was like digging around, and I'm like trying to see if I could feel bottles in the mud before I head back and end my dive. So here you can see I made it back down south. I kind of circled around that rock pile up north, came out into a little deeper water. That's why it's silty and there's not much vegetation. And then I circled around to the pilings, and then now I've been down for a little over an hour. The water temp is 47 degrees. So, and I have a steel 100, so I have about 1200 psi left. But I'm gonna end it here because for me to explore the pier by itself, I could probably do that in a whole dive by itself. So I'll definitely be coming back here. I think if you like to beach dive, you know, you drive down the end of Anchorage Road and you set up your gear, go to the little tiny four or five car parking lot, park your car, and then go do your beach dive. It's a pretty nice spot. So I hope you liked it, and I'll definitely be doing another video from here of the pier, and maybe out looking for more bottles. And if you like it, subscribe and give it a like. Thank you.